Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. And my coast board got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's gold.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Tab Lab. We are super excited for you guys to be here today with us. Myself, Neal Grossheider, and Micky Kilburn will be your host for the Tab Lab. And really what we're here to do is talk anything and everything business. And today I am really excited because we are going to talk about peer advisory and the benefits of peer advisory groups. Now, a lot of people, they hear peer advisory, they don't really think or know a lot of what that really means. They think mastermind groups, roundtables, just kind of those kind of things. And peer advisory is that, but it's also a little bit more. And Micky and I, we actually used to be in a mastermind group together when we both did real estate. And it was really cool. We actually got a lot out of it. It was really good, but it wasn't true peer advisory with true commitments that actually happened with it. And it was just us as a bunch of old guys just sitting there talking about how we can improve our real estate business and trying to hold each other accountable, but there wasn't like a true way for us to hold each other accountable. So that's why we wanted to talk about peer advisory, because that is really what Tab and Tab Emerald Coast is all about. So I'm excited to start this and kick this thing off with this topic because it's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but no, a lot of people do. Like Micky, I know you know this. They see, like, they hear a roundtable, they hear a mastermind group, they hear peer advisory, and they kind of lump them all into one kind of thing, but they're different. Like, they're held differently. The meetings are completely different, and the objectives of each one of those are different. And that's why it's important for business owners, especially, to understand what a peer advisory group is specifically for.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of those mastermind groups or peer advisory groups are not set up that way. They're set up to be networking groups that talks a little bit of business. They're not real true peer advisory where they're holding each other accountable. They're talking about building their business, just not getting some new clients. So I think there's a lot of people that don't understand what a true peer advisory, board can be or what it is. They will when we're done.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's really what we're all about with this. Just to give everybody a quick explanation of kind of what Tab's peer advisory boards consist of, so you know what we're talking about, is we bring in multiple business owners, up to 6 to 8 business owners, to sit as a board of directors for each other. And we truly are there to help each other and support each other through business issues, through life events, just things that are happening. And we talk about them in depth in a very confidential setting. They're NDA signed, so everything that happens there stays there. But then we make commitments. We actually say, hey, I'm going to take an actionable step that you can hold me accountable for. And everybody else there is there to actually help advise that person on whatever that topic is that they brought. So they bring this advice, they bring their help, their support. So you don't have to go through the school of hard knocks, because that's never a fun way to do business. And everybody else has gone through their own school. So if we can work together, it's so much easier.
Yeah. They always say you can learn from your mistakes, but I personally like to learn from somebody else's mistake so that I don't have to go that piece of it. And I think that's a lot of what peer advisory does, because you can learn from other people's mistakes as they've grown, and now they're pouring into you. And like you said, they're NDAs, so there's confidentiality in it. And like our boards, they're specific to industry, so you can't have 2 real estate agents. There's just one. So you can actually be more honest and not have to worry about that your competitor is taking down these notes going, oh man, Neal's about to go under. That they don't know those things. It's confidential.
That's exactly it. And Micky, I want you to know this is why I keep you around, because you make all these mistakes and I learn from you. So I have to, keep making your mistakes. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I do. I made my share,
Yeah, that's really why I keep you around, FYI. But there are so many benefits to this. And unlike a roundtable or a mastermind where people may be working on the same goal, like everybody's helping to meet the same goal. Here, everybody's helping each other meet their individual goals. And that's where I truly think the importance and the differentiation is for peer advisory groups. So I did want to bring this up. We kind of talked about it earlier, Mickey and I did, but there have been like a lot of studies and a lot of just groupthink on this about how and why these things are so effective and the benefits of these peer advisory boards. So I found a few articles. One's from Carnegie Mellon University. There's 6 different benefits for peer advisory groups specifically, and I'll just read them to you. Knowledge sharing and learning, emotional support and motivation, network expansion, skill development, enhanced decision-making, and cost effectiveness, because it's way cheaper to be in a peer advisory board than it is to hire an actual business consultant. From entrepreneur.com, they have 10 ability to get advice in a safe environment, non-financial benefits, because there's more than just the money aspect to it. You learn a lot about life. Opportunity to give back, improve leadership skills, avoid costly mistakes, understanding the basics, switch to reactive instead of proactive in business. How awesome would that be for a small business owner to be proactive in business instead of reactive? Help avoid tunnel vision, accountability, which is a huge thing that we harp on, and then access to new opportunities and friendships. And then this last study that I found, which is really cool, it was actually a student from the University of San Diego, did his dissertation on this, and he found professional and personal benefits. Basically, the most benefits directly impacted their companies through the generations of revenue, an expanded professional network, or shared lessons or experiences obtained through these board activities. They also agree that the forum meetings helped them and supported them in their business decision-making, especially during critical times, such as the pandemic. And then his personal benefits they found were positive impact on the closest circle of friends and family members, self-care and health, and new friendships. So not only does it just impact the business aspect, but then goes right into what we are so big about at Tab Emerald Coast, the life, the health, and the business of each business owner.
Yeah. And we've seen that a lot with the friendships where, when people come into one of the board meetings and they start talking about their life, health, and business, and it is just amazing to see when somebody is higher in any of those 3 areas, the happiness that comes from the other people on the board, their peers. They're just ecstatic. Like, we've seen it where they come in with record numbers in their health and business, and everybody just cheers. It's really amazing, the support. It's more than it's. I don't even know how to really say it, because it's just so powerful to have people who say, "Hey, Neal, I've been there, man. I know exactly what you're talking about here. I've been in this quicksand, and I got to get out. Let me help you." And we have seen time and time again, where referral groups, you see people come into referral groups, and it's, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Business for me. And we have learned, with talking to hundreds of business leaders here in Pensacola, that most entrepreneurs that we know are servant minded, and they love to help other people. They're involved in their communities, and they're involved in giving back to new entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. So that support and friendship, you can't even really say it. And we've seen it when we've done our TAB events, where we bring all of our TAB members together, folks that don't know each other every day, and how well they help each other. Yes, how well they help each other and say, "Hey, how's this going?" We've had people that have gotten business from those events because, "Oh, I know so-and-so, they're my buddy." And it helps. So it's not the main focus, but that's what happens, because everybody wants you to be successful.
Yeah, they do. And I think I want to go back to a point that you talked about, where you bring these business owners together and they experience what this is actually like to be supported and to know that others like them out there. We see this all the time in sample boards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just did a sample board, and I know we talked about it later or after that, but you brought up how you just love seeing them come together complete
Yeah.
strangers, right?
Yeah. When they start, and we told them this, we tell them this when we started. Hey, when you first start, you're going to be timid, but by the end of this, you guys are going to be the bestest of friends and just pouring out, helping each other. And it happens every single time. And
Mhm.
every survey that we've had post sample board, that's what they say. I'm so happy to know that I'm not in this alone, that there are other people struggling in this and that. And they share those, and they realize I'm not alone. It's a relief.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
Yeah, it really is. And I love it. So with me being a high eye on the disc thing, it's very exciting for me because I love to see people come out of there with their eyes open and just happy. And some of the people report back the successes that they've had from just that one little board meeting.
Those, I think those are my favorites because I have one sample board meeting. And a sample board, for those of you who have never heard of it or know what that means, is we actually bring entrepreneurs in to it's kind of like it's a meeting that we have that I kind of give a little spiel about what Tab is. And then we jump into an actual board meeting with these complete strangers. Most of the time, nobody knows each other, or they may know of each other or like have met here and there. But then we actually have two of those participants bring an actual topic to discuss. And we have seen some incredible things come out of that. So much so to where somebody was getting ready to shut down their business. And now they are thriving. And it was solely because of that. Or we've actually had somebody who was looking to expand in the Pensacola area from their business. For years, they have been trying to expand. Never did it. Just never. I don't know why. But after the sample board, that was their commitment. And within a month, they were under contract for a building. Like, that's a sample board. That's a free resource that we provide.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
we've even had some members who they've gotten funding from investors, and the investors have said to them, we'll give you the money, but only if you stay in that peer advisory board for 2 years, because they knew the value of what that board can do for them, because it's such a powerful tool for any entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter what your business is. It really does.
And I really like what you just said there. Like, these investors will give, these smaller companies, funding if they stay in here because they understand the importance of it. And it's not just businesses that need the peer advisory. Like, we were both military. You were Navy.
Go Navy.
I was Air Force, which is amazing.
We can all be good.
It's, I am standing up, not sitting in a chair right now, FYI. But like, even going back to that, like in the military, we did, briefs, debriefs. We did this group peer advisory with everybody. And it was literally there to help each other and to be supportive. It was called something totally different, but it's the same kind of structure. We would go around the room, how to help each other, how to build each other up, to not make the same mistakes, to help each other succeed, because we're a crew. We are together. Yeah. And we have to be we have to succeed together.
Yeah. For the mission. You're absolutely right.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Everybody needs to come together, and every person on that team success matters to the overall mission. And it's not unlike the peer advisory board. Everybody wants that success for each person like it's their own.
Yes. And that's one thing I do love about our board meetings is when you do see that success in a board meeting. Somebody has reached that goal, has reached their champagne moment, whatever it may be. Like, what's the feeling you see for the rest of the board?
Yeah, they're ecstatic. They're ecstatic for them that they hit that goal.
It's awesome.
It is. Yeah. They just, it's that personal interest and that person, because, for example, you and me, when I say things to pour in you and that creates successes for you, that's a win for me, man. It's fantastic to see people that I'm trying to help and in the successful, and they work in that. And the same thing for you when you talk to me about different things. That advisory is critical, and holding each other accountable. Let's talk about accountability and how important that is with this board.
It's all right. Kind of a board.
Yeah.
little bit.
It's one of the things we hear a lot about when we talk about that people, when they do this in the business, they don't have anybody to hold them accountable because they're the owner. That's them. They don't,
Yeah.
I mean, they have to make payroll and things like that, but it's not the same as saying to another business owner saying, yeah, you know what? I am going to talk to the employee about the things that we just talked about. And then they come back the next week and say, or next month and say, hey, and that conversation went way better than I thought. And productivity is now up.
Yes.
They come into these boards and they're ready to give up because they're just so frustrated. You can see when they talk, they're looking down. But when they come back the next week, they're all happy and excited because everything went well. Or next month, excuse me, we do ours monthly. But
Yeah.
it's amazing that accountability, and I'm holding you accountable. See, you don't want to talk about it, but I'm holding you accountable to talk about it.
Well, it's really funny because this entire podcast or webinar situation was Micky holding me accountable to start it in the first place. He's been harping on me to do this for months now. And I've gone back and forth between doing a podcast, webinar, didn't really know what to do. And we actually finally had a meeting, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, to do a podcast because I think it was just easier for us to kind of manage it and go along with it. And it's just fun. So that was him holding me accountable to make sure that I did this. And it was kind of something we agreed upon because we talk quite a bit about this stuff.
Yeah. And that accountability to accomplish things, because if you don't have that accountability partner, it's very easy to say, you know what, I need to focus on this today, or I need to focus on that today.
Oh.
Or, hey, instead of working on my business today, I'm going to go work in my business today.
We've never heard that before.
No, not ever.
I don't know of a single business owner who works solely on their business.
Yeah, absolutely.
They get stuck working in the business constantly. And, you know, the tab boards, actually, one of our members has actually said, like, the time I dedicate with tab is me solely focused on the business because it's the only time I get.
Yeah.
So we use that, especially in the board meetings, to say, hey, let's focus on the business. Like, we've even had people bring in SOPs to review and to revise because they want other eyes on it to make sure it will grow with them from companies that have grown to the level that they want to be. Mm-hmm. So it's really their chance not only to get that advice, you know, that shared knowledge, that shared learning, but to work on the business, which is kind of why we all start a business.
Yeah, I don't know too many people that want to work
unless you just want to pay to work in the business.
Yeah. Nobody I know ever wants to work in the business for the whole time.
No, not really.
They, you know, it starts out that way.
No,
you love it. And then they go later on, I'm working way too much in the business. I can't even take a vacation.
Exactly. And it's, man, taking a vacation, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It really is. You know, we've heard that before.
I mean,
and you know, how many people we've gone and go, oh, the vacation was great. And they get back from their cruise or whatever. And then they're sitting in that first board meeting saying, you know, hey, I feel like I got to work 80 hours now because of all these things that dropped while they were gone.
Yeah, because nothing got done. And wouldn't it be cool if you had peers to talk about that with? Hey, I'm really needing help with this. I'm getting ready to take this cruise. What do I need to prioritize so I'm not swamped whenever I get back? And that's a great board topic.
Yes, it is.
To hear what other people have to say about it.
Yeah, and you know, and on these on these advisory boards, they're not just for business owners. They can be for your number twos. The number twos can have an advisory board. That right-hand person that you have that you entrust for everything, there's a reason they should be on a board too. They need to learn now. Why not let them learn while they're not running the show while you're on vacation versus when you decide to go on a 3-month worldwide cruise? Let's all hope we get to do that, right?
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks. I'm going to do that, buddy. Thanks for the idea.
Oh, man.
You got the comment.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, you know, that's a big value too.
Yeah. It's a huge value. I mean, can most business owners take a month-long sabbatical and not expect their business to just fall apart? Or do they have that employee and the whole systems and processes set up to literally where they can like multiply their succession plan, you know, eight, tenfold instead of just the, hey, we can sell it, you know, with a multiple of 2. It'd be great to sell it with a multiple of 8 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And how nice will it be when you get to take your Disney cruise and know that, hey, Mickey's behind the scenes. I know I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to come back and be bombarded with stuff because Mickey's pulling the ship, because I know he's going to take care of it because he's aligned with the same values. He knows the mission and vision of the business owner. So now it helps me, you know, like our big thing is people over profit.
Yeah.
And that's like, how many of your number twos know what your vision and mission are?
Yep, exactly. And I mean, it all comes down to working together with this peer advisory board to help you make sure these things and processes and visions and values and everything is in place and holding you accountable to those so you can spread it to your company so your company can actually be what you want it to be. That's truly what it comes down to. And without that, I mean, we've seen businesses without peer advisory boards, just they struggle.
Yeah.
Like, especially during critical times, man, like, you know, what are they doing? They're struggling. They have nobody to turn to. And the people in TAB or TAB members, they come ready and raring to talk about it because they know that during the struggle, they're not alone. I think that's really where the impact comes into play. They're just not alone in this terrible, awesome business journey. So,
and you've seen that in your, you know, key executive board that you have, where you know the number two has heard the mission and the vision so much that they can repeat it verbatim, and it's trickling down to everybody in the business now knows it because now the number two is saying it all the time.
Yep. And it was so impactful that we had another member from that same board walk in to that business, and the customer service they received was astounding. He was like, I've never been treated so good at this place of business before. He was like, it was amazing. And he was like, they better know it because that's part of our values and our vision statement. He was like, they obviously did. So yeah, it was making huge waves for that company.
Yeah, it really did. And you know, that company is getting better every day. Getting better every day. And
really is.
So,
but well, we are about wrapped up on time here. So Mickey, you got any last parting shots about how amazing peer advisory is and why it's just like the coolest thing in the world?
So I'm going to pass some old guy wisdom on now.
Oh, man, everybody hold on.
Yeah, grab your coffee.
Yep.
Maybe a margarita. You might need one of those. I don't know. But through my experiences, I've worked for large companies and I worked with small companies. I worked with several small companies before I started doing my own businesses. And when I started my first business, I started it because I was really good at what I did. I was good at IT. I was good at communications. I was good at it. And so that's what I did. I wish that I had a peer advisory board when I started. I made so many mistakes running that business because I didn't know any better. I didn't have somebody that I can just go, hey, man, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay bills this month. You know, that would have been invaluable to me for somebody to come up alongside me and go, hey, Mickey, have you tried these things? Have you tried that? Have you done this? Because even though it's a different industry, it's the same problems that we all face. Business is business is business.
Exactly it. No, that's actually some good wisdom coming from you.
Hey, thanks. Not bad for a Navy guy, right?
No, not bad for a Navy guy. That's even recorded. So I would do expect
let me make sure that's recorded.
I expect my $20 at some point soon. Just FYI.
Yep.
But no, that's very impactful advice. And I hope that our listeners actually do take that into consideration because that is huge. I mean, Mickey just said it, business is business is business. He would not have made the mistakes that he did if he had some sort of peer advisory group, which would have saved him so much time, money, heartache, all those things. It would have been so impactful for him, which I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad that that happened because I'm glad you're here with me now. But at the same point, I think it's just important for everybody to know that.
It is.
So, but all right, everyone, thank you guys so much for listening to the Tab Lab with Micky Kilburn and Neal Grossheider. I am super excited because we will be doing these, what is it, once a week, once every 2 weeks?
I think we said we are going to do them every week.
Every week.
Or
So
maybe every two. Well, no, we'll figure it out.
yeah, but you guys can expect a lot more of these fun little talks about how cool business can actually be. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emma Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a